You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who believes a penny saved isn't jack Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nite Lite, folks. Very exciting that we hear that intro, and the man who happens to have voiced that amazing intro is with us, Todd Michaels. We will get back to Todd in just a minute. Right now, I just want to say welcome to Act 2. We have a great show here tonight. I had a few days off. Conrad, I think it's going well. What do you think?
You're doing the best you can.
Okay. Remind me next time John and Gordy fill in to just rip into you so hard you can't even, and it's a stupid hat, by the way. All right, so we have Todd Michaels on the phone. Matt Mueller will be here in just a little bit. I'm going to ask Matt where he saw Highest to Lowest, because I looked for that movie. It supposedly was in wide release, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I can't wait to talk to Matt about weapons. We'll get to that in just a bit. Folks, if you're not playing, you should be. This is the Last Chance Summer Getaway. It's you know what it is, Conrad? It's a contest exclusive to Nite Lite, because we get left out of all the other contests. They said, Pete, we want to make you happy. They didn't say that. So it's the Nite Lite Last Chance Summer Getaway, and it's the grand prize is one night at Chula Vista. You get an overnight certificate and a dining voucher. The food is outstanding. It's a $175 value, and all you have to do is text in the keyword, and you are eligible. It's that simple, folks. It happens tonight, tomorrow night, and Friday. So if you've got the app open, text in the keyword now, which is PLAY, P-L-A-Y. And I kind of hope Todd wins, but I kind of hope he doesn't, because I don't want to be in the middle of any kind of weirdness here. But
yeah, I'm sure that won't happen.
We've got our question of the night, folks, is Bloody Mary chasers, measuring distance and time instead of miles? What's your favorite Wisconsin quirk? Let us know. We will catch up on texts in just a few minutes. But right now, let's get back to our pal Todd Michaels, who is, that's a great background, by the way, Todd. What is that? Like a green screen, or did you actually do some gothic?
No, I did some improvements here. I got a couple of screens behind me and all that. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot on your social media.
Yeah.
People doing weird stuff by your window over there. What's going on with that?
I don't know. It's just something they're drawn to. You're the guy that we should be asking about this, because for whatever reason, people are drawn to that window. It could be something strange happening.
Yeah, it's just like random people, right? Wasn't Conrad out there one night in like some weird shorts or something? He was.
Those are really weird shorts. Those are my favorite
I believe
ones.
that. I believe that. But as somebody who cares about you deeply, Conrad, let me just tell you, get rid of them.
Somehow Conrad found a pair of flood shorts. I don't even know how that's possible. They should go a little lower, though, past the knee, Conrad. That's all I'll say, just for
and just add to that, please. Okay, please get them a little bit lower, if you could.
Todd, if you want to be in the window picture, just let me know and I'll set it up.
Listen, I might just show up one night.
I can tell you,
and I'll be out there. I'll be doing this.
Todd Michaels is my guest, folks. You could see his work or hear his work. He produces and is part of a couple podcasts called Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruski. He is what I like to call a radio legend and a paranormal investigator, and he is with us here for a few more minutes. Todd, what do you make of the Bermuda Triangle? Do you think there's anything there? There's been an inordinate amount of disappearances there, crashes there. It's just the weather, right? I mean, you're a paranormal investigator, but you're also kind of a skeptic, and you really investigate these things.
I think it probably has something more to do with the weather and the wind currents and all that kind of stuff in that particular location. The fact of the matter is that, as you mentioned, there have been a ton of wrecks. There have been a ton of missing planes, ships, all that kind of stuff in that area. So it's got to be more than just the weather, right? It's got to be some sort of something to do with the geography as well, that would somehow hide the evidence of these wrecks, of missing ships, missing planes, of missing people and all that kind of stuff. Weather probably plays into it, but it can't be the only thing.
You know, and could there be, like, let's say in people's subconscious, once a few planes go down or ships are lost or whatever, does it get in a pilot or captain's mind, oh boy, it's the Bermuda Triangle, and they almost psych themselves out somehow? Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, it's, you can tie that into paranormal stuff too, right? If you have kind of a spooky thing happen, does that mean that all of a sudden every bump in the middle of the night, you go, oh my gosh, it's a ghost? Very similar. And I also think that, as to your point, if you're flying there, if you're captain of a ship in that area, and maybe you do run into turbulence or rough waters or whatever, maybe it plays with your psyche enough that maybe you don't make the best decisions that you should make in that situation.
Yeah.
You panic. Exactly. And you do things that you normally wouldn't do. And that just ends up in tragedy.
Conrad and I had planned a snorkeling trip in the Bermuda Triangle. And I think he's got cold feet. I don't know. It's your call, Con.
I think I'm not going to do it.
I'll swear to God, I'll give you each a $50 bill.
Whoa.
If I get a picture of both of you in snorkeling gear.
And Conrad in the short shorts.
Sure.
So
then only 25 for Conrad if he puts the short shorts on.
Todd, all right, in all your investigating, tell me something that literally scared the bejesus out of you. Was there something that you couldn't explain or that really creeped you out?
It goes back to a video I was actually watching, and I've done so many investigations, I've actually forgot a lot of the stuff that happened. But the other night, I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about the TV show that I was a part of at one point, which was A Haunted State, and we went around to locations in Wisconsin. The weirdest thing, and I've seen shadows, I've seen shadow figures, I've heard voices, all things that should not be happening that did. But the one thing that really just always blew me away was at Nelson's Hall on Washington Island. And we were doing a ghost box session. Ghost box is basically a radio that just keeps shuffling through all the frequencies. And people believe that you can communicate using that type of equipment with ghosts. And we were using it, and we were recording a spirit box session or a ghost box session. There were 3 of us in a little group. There was a camera guy filming it as well. But in this group, we're standing in a circle. We've got the spirit box and the recorder in front of us. And we headed down toward our like waist level, but right in front of our faces, like right between us, we heard a growl, like an audible growl. And we heard it the first time. And the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, maybe we didn't eat enough and our stomach's growling.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it wasn't in that location. We've all heard stomach growls, and it wasn't like that. And we all immediately went, oh my gosh, that was a growl. It didn't come out of the spirit box. It was literally in the air in front of us. And we kind of blew it off. And immediately after that, it happened again, but even louder.
Whoa.
And the thing about that trip was that we left that investigation on Washington Island, and all of us on the team, there were 4 of us, all of us had weird experiences after. So it was almost like something followed us back from Washington Island. And for a long time, I was kind of afraid of going back to Washington Island because it was kind of severe for me, but ended up going back and things were fine. But that was probably the thing that went, holy crap, I've never had anything like this happen before.
That's why I don't think I would ever want to do what you do, because I would be worried that, I'm a skeptic. It's like the George Costanza thing. I thought you don't believe in God. I do for the bad things. Like, I'd be worried I'd pick up a tail or something. Like, you've said that in the past on this show. Like, they follow you home, these spirits or whatever they are,
They can, right? That's certainly something that can happen. I think the thing that's interesting about it is that, and I'm learning more about it as I'm working in the true crime world as well, I think humans are scarier than ghosts,
no doubt.
for the most part. So that I always keep that in the back of my mind.
My guest is Todd Michaels. We have Todd for one more question, I guess. But check out his work at Real Ghost Stories Online and Hidden Killers with Tony Bruski.
Can I use the time to tell a quick story about my new boss?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Tony Bruski, I actually hired in radio back in like 1998, 96, 98, something like that. He was 14 years old and he wanted to get into radio really bad. So he showed up at the radio station on his bike. Okay. And I remember he was with his mom and she's like, oh, Tony's just very interested in this. Could you help Tony out? So I kind of took him under my wing and got him into radio, and he's been doing it ever since. And now the guy makes tons of cash.
Wow.
And so I guess he just felt bad for me and gave me a gig. But thank God for,
that's crazy that you work for him now.
It is. And every once, we'll do our shows and stuff, and then he'll have a quick conversation about something. He goes, you remember the time that, and it's always something that I wouldn't have remembered, except he brought it up. And then it's like, oh my God, yes, I do remember that.
Wow. Because he was so impressionable, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And now he's a star, and it's because of me. I mean, let's be honest.
We've got a text from Jim from Appleton. He says, for Todd, I just read an article in the Smithsonian Magazine. The hypothesis, because of the islands and reefs, it creates a lot of rogue, I think he means, rogue waves to help explain the shipwrecks. Yeah, it's weird with Door County. It's such a beautiful place, but there are so many haunted stories. But I still don't think about that when I go there. I'm just captivated by the beauty of the place.
I think you're better off not thinking about it. Enjoy what it is, right?
Yeah.
But I think Door County probably does have a lot of paranormal stuff there, and a lot of it has to do with the shipping.
Todd from Madison, he's in the 608, says, Todd, please visit Freeport, Illinois, a swath of haunted homes that were built on top of moved Civil War soldiers' grave sites. It's a really creepy reality for several homeowners in the 600, 700, and 800 blocks of Lincoln Boulevard, exactly across the street from Freeport City's cemetery, where bodies are now in a mass grave and many individual marked graves. You ever done something like that, a mass grave, Todd, investigated?
Well, I have not, but I will tell you this. If you look up the history of any city or town, even Oshkosh, which is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Tons of stories of how, as they were building the city, they wanted to put this up. And I actually think UW Oshkosh, there are buildings there that were built on top of graves, cemeteries, and they didn't move all the bodies. So it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
And so when people say, well, we've got a brand new house, but there seems to be something going on. Well, it's not. Sometimes it doesn't happen in the house. Sometimes the land, it just holds energy.
The dirt under the house, not so much. Annie from Watertown says, if not for black boxes, there would be a lot more mysteries, or no. There are often cases. Well done, Annie.
She's right.
There are often cases of no reason, or they never radioed after that, and until they use the info, cockpit talk, the data of all systems, etc., and figure it out. Great text. Thank you, Annie. Todd, this has been fun. Thank you, buddy, as always.
Thanks for inviting me back.
Anytime. I'm going to go mess up the kitchen right now and not clean it in your honor. So there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk soon, buddy.
See ya.
All right. Todd Michaels, ladies and gentlemen. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? AJ from the 608 says, hey, P and K. That's Pete and Conrad. Bloody Marys need no chaser, and you can have them anytime, not just for breakfast or brunch. People have given me crap for that. For dinner, always drive-in time, not miles, and Wisconsin is quirky for the accent. Didn't know I had one until I traveled outside of the Midwest. Well done, AJ. Those are great points. Yeah, we didn't touch on the accent.
Well, we don't realize we have one.
We don't have one. No.
No.
Matt Rothschild from the 608. Our pal Matt says, quirk, letting kids drink in bars with their parents. Oh, my God.
I did that a couple times.
I know you did. Your own parents got you hammered. That is definitely a quirk. Thank you, Matt. We're coming right back with our pal Matt Mueller, Milwaukee film critic on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Welcome back. We are barreling through a Wednesday night. This is, it's weird. Even when you take a few days off, like when you just like talking about show business and movies and TV, it's kind of like you're still on vacation. So we're having fun here tonight at Nite Lite. John Murray apologized to you, Conrad, he's in the 608 Madison guy, regular texter. Hey, Conrad, I sincerely apologize for calling you Corey like 42 times. Would you guys pal around or something? What's happening there?
That's all right. Just make sure you get it right this time with a K.
Yeah.
We'll be fine going forward.
He says, my bad, love you and Pete, and really enjoy your show. Thank you, John. And Christine from Slinger in the 414 says, Anna Hay, is that a Wisconsin quirk thing?
Maybe it's a texter trying to communicate with another texter.
Anna Hay. But she's got the question mark. That's why I thought it was my thing, like going to the store, Pete. I thought of another quirk, and it's I suppose. People say that all the time.
I suppose.
Well, and it's when they're leaving. Well, I suppose. It's like they don't say they're leaving. That's become, and it obviously derives from, well, I suppose I'm going to go or something like that. Now it's just I suppose. Great Wisconsin
You
quirk.
bringing that up, it reminds me of a video that Charlie Barons did. And it was just them going into a bar, saying like 4 words, and then all of them at the same time. Well, I suppose.
Oh, seriously?
It was George Kittle and his friend too, and it was hilarious.
You can't. Charlie Barons has talked about everything. You can't talk about anything anymore. He's already covered it. Hey, this is exciting, folks. One of our favorites is waiting patiently on the stream here. We talk with this next gentleman from time to time about movies. He is a fine film critic from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our state's largest city, Conrad. And he joins us now here on the stream, as he often does. Mr. Matt Mueller. Hey, buddy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. You were on vacation, I understand.
I was in the fine city of Quebec City, the Great North, French edition.
Yeah, wow. I've been to Montreal. I've never been to Quebec City.
I highly recommend Quebec City. I truly loved it there. We were mostly palling around in old Quebec, just Europe in the North America.
Yeah.
It was just gorgeous. Ate my body weight in cheese curds and French fries and gravy, and it was outstanding.
How do the cheese curds compare to here in the Dairy State?
Ooh, tough. I mean, the thing is, I had the cheese curds as a part of poutine. So you cover it with gravy and French fries. That's gonna win.
Sure.
So, but no, it was a great time. Got some Quebec Nordique skier. So it was a really nice time.
Wow, that's great. Well, it's good to have you back in the state that you call home, that you review movies in, and we've got a lot to get to. So let's jump in. I want to ask you. Let's start with weapons, Matt.
Yeah.
I saw it and I liked it. I to be honest, I liked Barbarian better. But I thought Weapons was really cool, very creepy. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like Weapons too. I think as just a scary movie, it's very it is one of the few mainstream horror movies that really kind of got under my skin, and I lost some sleep about it because there's just I love the urban legend campfire tale vibe of that movie. It really has a kind of haunted, town legend vibe to it that just really creeps me out. I will agree with you a little bit on the Barbarian thing because I think Weapons is a better movie, but I think Barbarian is better at being about something. I think Barbarian is a movie about, brutality under the surface of, polite exteriors and about, bad men and nice exteriors. And Weapons is this movie that you would think it's so loaded where, you have this very, a teacher being accused of messing with her students and, disappearing students, a classroom of kids, very school shooting, kind of imagery it's playing with. And it's playing with all these ideas and themes. And then the movie is kind of nah, we're not really about any of that. We're not really a movie about anything. We're a movie about freaking you out. And as a movie that's about freaking you out, as being a thrill ride, I think Weapons is very good, very well done. But I think if you're looking for a movie about stuff, I think Barbarian is the better of the two Zach Kreger movies. See, that's the director.
It's interesting because people are flipping out over Weapons, and it's good. And I don't mean to say I didn't like it, but it is one of those, I kind of had to piece it together at the end. Oh yeah, they did the voodoo thing earlier, and then that's what she was doing, trying to you kind of have to think about it. They don't. Whereas Barbarian is just a more straight up story, I guess, where you're like, oh my gosh, but
a little bit. Barbarian, the thing that Zach Cregger's two movies definitely have in common is that they are very zigzaggy in terms of how they approach telling a story. They'll start in one direction and then they will immediately jarringly go in a new direction, and then they'll go in another new direction. And Cregger talks about how when he's writing the movie script, he started in sketch comedy with The Whitest Kids You Know. And he's kind of like a Jordan Peele in that way, where he made this massive leap to mainstream horror. And he talks about how when he's writing a script, he always wants to be trying to do something that he's not expecting. When he's always trying to do something unpredictable, which is a tricky, ask M. Night Shyamalan how that works out. You know, that's a tricky kind of game to play. And I think it also results in a movie like Weapons that is a great thrill ride, a great horror fun time. But if you're looking for a kind of coherent theme, a coherent story to it, it's not quite as rewarding as you want it to be. But as a movie that will shake you up and will have you jump and creep you out, thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. Then it keeps you like guessing, like what is happening. Like it started like Josh Brolin making that line from the moon to the house, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna figure it out. Nope, they're going this way.
Anytime the door opened to that house and like in that way where it was like clearly no one was opening the door, and the door behind it is just like pitch black darkness, I'm just like, perfectly eerie. I know Lynchian gets thrown around a lot, and this is by no means a David Lynch movie, but it does have that kind of suburban, creepy, urban legend feel to it.
Absolutely. All right, Matt Mueller is here, folks, Milwaukee film critic. We're going to get into more movie talk with Matt after the news, and we'll give you the key word again in our big last chance summer getaway here at Nite Lite. It's Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network. Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Wednesday, coming to you from beautiful downtown Green Bay on a gorgeous summer night. Hopefully we'll have a few more of these. Paula, Conrad's mom, chiming in, says old fashions are better in Wisconsin. I don't think that's I don't know if anybody would dispute that.
Yeah.
Certainly not anybody in Wisconsin. Matt Mueller is with us, folks. We'll have a few more minutes with Matt here tomorrow night on the show. WGBW morning personality and radio legend. Do I throw that word around too much?
Maybe, but he is a legend.
He's been around a long time. He'll be here tomorrow to do the popcorn pick. Matt, have you ever done the popcorn pick of the week?
I don't believe I have.
Oh,
I don't believe I've had the honor.
Okay. Conrad, take a memo. That's ridiculous. I can't believe Matt has never done that. We'll do that in the coming weeks. And then Emerson Lehman, WBAY morning anchor, will join us tomorrow in studio. Dan will be here in studio, too. Emerson is going to tell us all about the Milwaukee Mile. So he's a big racing fan. We'll talk to Emerson tomorrow. He's always fun to have on the program as well. Right now, Matt, so, all right, we talked about weapons. And just to put a button on that run those kids do with their arms out like that, how creepy is one simple
Naruto
thing?
Run?
Yeah.
I mean, people were trying to be like, this movie has made over $100 million. It's the lone hit of this late summer. And, Hollywood's trying to figure out, what was it? But it was like, they had a great hook. They had a great hook and a great image to sell this movie on of kids running into the night and kids disappear. It is a great hook. Sometimes a good premise is enough.
Absolutely. Did you like Freakier Friday? I haven't seen it.
I was fine with Freakier Friday. It's not as good as the first one. I actually rewatched the original Disney movie, and it's great. It's still really tremendous. The Freakier Friday is still really, it's a nice time. I like Jamie Lee Curtis. I like seeing Lindsay Lohan back on the screen again. She is a good actress, putting aside all of the, tabloid who's a what. There's a bunch of really good performers in it. You can kind of tell that it was supposed to be originally a Disney Plus movie. It was supposed to be a streaming movie. And the Disney was like, what if we made money off of this? And Go figure. It's worked out well for them. It just has that kind of soft focus look, that kind of cheap look that, it feels hallmarky. But the performers are good. And when all things said and done, I want to laugh, and I laughed enough. So I enjoyed Freakier Friday.
All right, good to know. And here's one I want to get to. Highest to lowest. It said I do a thing every week where I talk about the movies that are coming out, Matt, and that was one a couple weeks ago. It came out with Nobody 2. I was excited to see them both. Highest to lowest, I think you had to go to Milwaukee, was the closest place near me. I don't understand what is going on. It's Spike Lee. It's a 2-time Oscar winner in the lead role based on a really cool Japanese film. And it got great reviews. I don't know what they were doing, but did you like that film, Highest to Lowest?
Yeah, Spike Lee covering Akira Kurosawa with Denzel Washington should not be a hard sell. Unfortunately, A24 and Apple kind of dropped the ball on this movie. I don't know if it's because the early festival reviews were kind of, as festival reviews can be. If it's not incredible right off the bat, sometimes festivals are, a little easy to kind of, check things off.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the fact that it's two studios kind of handling this movie. They kind of, it was none of their exclusive baby. So, it kind of got half efforts. Whatever the case is, they bungled it. This should have been, a movie that made some money for these guys. I don't love this movie. I love Da 5 Bloods. Spike Lee is a great filmmaker. Black Klansman, Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Bamboozled, incredible filmmaker. The first half of Highest to Lowest is pretty not good.
Really?
And a lot of people will argue that it's him purposefully making a stiff movie to kind of show that he's, at the back end, that it becomes more lively. But it's just kind of hard to be like, yeah, half this movie is very stiff and kind of boringly made. You have to wait an hour for it to get good. That's not a great sell for a movie. Yeah, it's not as tight as... And also, when you're remaking High and Low, which is a perfectly directed movie, like I saw that for the first time before this new one came out, and it's incredible. That movie's blocking. That movie, it is a perfectly directed film. And to be like, I'm going to remake this movie, half of it is going to be as apathetically directed as possible is such a strange choice. When it cooks, it cooks. Like, there's a bunch of really incredible scenes near the end of that movie where you see Spike Lee kind of wrestling with culture and wrestling with his place in it. That stuff is absolutely tremendous. And obviously you have Denzel Washington acting out in those scenes. And Denzel, don't know if you heard, great acting. But, not to be cliche, but, it's a movie of real highs and lows. It really is exactly that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm going to keep... I want to see it. I'm going to see it either way. But yeah, and the reviews are great.
When Spike Lee makes a movie, he is one of those directors, when he shows up with a movie on a big screen, see it, because it will at least be interesting. It will at least give you something to chew on afterwards. It's the same thing with Paul Thomas Anderson and Darren Aronofsky, all directors who have movies coming out within the next month. So while Hollywood is like, oh no, there's nothing, we have no blockbusters in theater. If you're a film fan, it's a feast out there right now. PTA, Aronofsky, a Coen brother movie. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff out there.
I still never seen She's Gotta Have It. Spike Lee's first, the film that kind of put him on the map. Do the Right Thing was the first film I saw of his, but I don't know if you've even seen it or haven't seen it in years, but does that hold up? She's Gotta Have It, and would you recommend that?
It's a little bit like Nolan's Following. It's nothing like that in terms of plot or anything, but you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, this guy he's going to be something. You can see the blueprint of the future. If you want to watch it for that, it's not one of my favorite Spike Lees, that's for sure. But I do think it's interesting to watch, just like, man, he's going to take off. Or like, you can see the talent just bursting off of that movie.
It's hard to watch stuff like that sometimes when you got to transport yourself back and say, okay, I don't know this director. I've never seen him before. This is his first movie. It was the mid 80s. I guess that's hard to do.
The stuff that was special, the stuff like the signature Spike Lee dolly shots, or, the Christopher Nolan playing with time stuff, we're so used to it. They're cliche now, when you have to go back to jump to watching Memento or Following or something like She's Gotta Have It. And it's like, oh no, this felt really new and special at the time.
All right, let's. My guest is Matt Mueller. He is a Milwaukee film critic. You can follow Matt. You're not on Twitter anymore. You're on Blue Sky, right?
I am still on Twitter,
Oh,
but I
okay.
am also on Blue Sky.
Same.
Same place, A Man About Film. So, yeah, you can find me in both of those places.
Give him a follow. All right. Now, Nobody 2. I was like most people. My son and I watched the first one. I think it was just a Netflix film. And I met Bob Odenkirk several times back in the day. He's one of my favorite guys, just the nicest guy you'd ever meet. I said, let's give this a chance. It was great. I was blown away. I was not expecting what I saw. And my son went to see Nobody 2. I was excited to see it. And he didn't like it. And I was like, wow, because the reviews were pretty good. And he's kind of jaded for a 24-year-old, but I don't know. Are his feelings justified, Matt? Did you like it?
It's I want to like both the Nobody movies more than I do.
Okay.
I had a decent time with Nobody too. It's a different tone, I would say. It's a little bit more cartoony. It's a little bit more goofy. It kind of takes place in the Wisconsin Dells. Like,
Oh, I love
it doesn't say it takes place in the Wisconsin Dells, but it's clearly a Wisconsin locale. One of the producers, I think David Leach, is originally a Wisconsin native. So I think he worked that into Nobody 2 on some level. I want the Nobody 2 and the Nobody movies in general to be either dumber or smarter. They kind of fall into that awkward place of, do you want to make an action movie about like, this like aging sad masculinity and like these men who don't know what to do with themselves? Do you want to make a movie about that? Or do you want to make a silly movie where a guy, murders a bunch of people in a water park while Sharon Stone cackles in the background like a maniac? I'm fine with both of those movies, but they kind of awkwardly coexist in both of these movies. I had a little bit more fun with Nobody 2. I think the action is a little bit more vibrant, is a little bit more playful. They got a new director for Nobody 2, Timo. I'm massacring his name. Timo Timohara, I think his name is. Very good action director. He's doing a lot of fun, brutal stuff in this movie. But yeah, I wanted to have either more fun or get more from the movie. And so, you know what? It's a late August movie. It's a late August action movie. It totally satisfies your desires for that.
Okay, very well said. I am still going to see it, and I'm going to track down Highest to Lowest, although I guess we can stream that on September 5th. We gave, at home, we had a little family staycation last week, and my daughter had never seen Collateral, and she loves Tom Cruise, so we gave that another watch. Almost a perfect movie to me. It's just no fat in that film.
Yeah, I do really. That might be my favorite Michael Mann movie.
Same.
I love the nocturnal imagery of it. I love the kind of nighttime vision. I think it's an excellent use of both Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise, weaponizing Tom Cruise's insane intensity, weaponizing Jamie Foxx's, kind of charisma and his ability to kind of like morph into whatever he needs to. I think that movie is tremendous. Mark Ruffalo looking like the sleaziest cop you've ever seen in your life, just the greasiest looking mustache dude of all time. He's really great in that. Yeah, Collateral is just a really tremendous.
And when
movie.
they introduce Mark Ruffalo's character, he's like in a Trans Am. He's got his hair slicked back, and it's this music like.
Is it a handlebar mustache too?
It's a goatee. It's a goatee.
Big ol', yeah, he looks great.
He's awesome. It's a great movie, and the music is great, and I agree with you. It's Michael Mann at his best. And
it's him before he went fully digital, and like his later digital movies look so smeary, and I know some people love them, but like some people love the look of Public Enemies and Miami Vice. I would much rather Collateral. I think Collateral is a much better kind of visual look.
I agree, 100%. We've got, you said we could do a movies past and present. Like, what's coming up? What excites you, Matt? Let's, between now and, this weekend, I guess, is Labor Day's already here, but what else can we look forward to at the theater?
Well, like I said, Hollywood is like, oh no, the box office is bad. And I'm looking at these upcoming weeks and I'm like, look at all these interesting original movies coming out.
Totally agree.
So this weekend you've got a new Darren Aronofsky movie, Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz. Looks fun. Looks like a kind of like scuzzy crime movie that I think that's going to be a good time. You've got two indie movies, one called Twinless that got a lot of really good hype out of Sundance. Another one called Splitsville, about this kind of open relationship, two friends and two relationships going in their separate ways. It's supposed to be very funny. I'm excited to check that one out as well. You've got The Long Walk, the new Stephen King adaptation that looks really good, directed by Francis Lawrence, who did Constantine and the Hunger Games sequels. Okay. Kind of an underrated director. I really like him a lot. And then at the end of September, you've got a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, that looks really good. I don't know if the studio knows what to sell. You can tell the studio is like, is it an action movie? It is a comedy. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to sell it. This is the opposite of Weapons. We knew how to sell weapons. What are we supposed to do with this? But they gave Paul Thomas Anderson $100 million to make like a Thomas Pynchon riff. And I'm like, yeah, 10 out of 10. Put it in my veins. Like, I want to see the hell out of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure people will talk about how it's a massive flop and how it didn't make enough money. And I will be sitting there going, wow, I enjoy. Thank you. Somebody gave $100 million to Paul Thomas Anderson and said, go wild. And I hope he does. I hope it's a great time.
Matt, thank you so much as always, buddy. We'll get back to you. We'd love to have you do the popcorn pick, but thanks as always. Great stuff.
I would be honored, Pete. It is always a great time. Thanks for having me.
Matt Mueller, check out his work. We're coming right back to finish up with your texts. Folks, it's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite, a Wednesday version of Nite Lite. I think I just said a Wednesday version of Nite Lite.
We don't want that.
I don't know if that means anything, but it kind of sounded cool. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Wisconsin quirk? Like a Bloody Mary chaser, calling a water fountain a bubbler. My favorite, I think, of the night is Matt Rothschild saying that we bring our kids to the bar. Kids can drink if their parents are with them. That's a great one. John in the 608, John Murray says, here in Wisconsin, we eat cold brats for breakfast before we go to a neighborhood festival where we enjoy music and eat more brats for lunch. My cousins in Oakland, California think brats look gross and will not even try one. Wow. See what he did there? He asked a question and made a statement. It's a call back to my quirk. Here's where I'm at with brats. I've eaten enough of them in my life, and I'm getting older. I don't want to eat more brats. But I see one at a party, and I'm going to attack it like I'm on the Discovery Channel. That's the problem. And usually I'll say I'll have one brat this summer just to have one, but I usually end up having like 4 or 5.
They're so good. You know, last week I went to Walmart, and I was just looking through their deli section, or not their deli, their their meat section, and I found a Chipotle brat.
Oh.
And boy, was that good.
Here's what I'll say about brats. Like Italian sausage, like most meat or protein does not taste good unless you doctor it up.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to put something on it, whether
ketchup.
It's salmon, chicken, it's all bland. But a bratwurst on its own has that salty, cured, it's probably the best protein without any kind of condiment or seasoning, I guess.
You know what I put on it? Is hot honey ranch.
Did you tell me that?
No, the other one I told you about was that
that mustard.
That cherry honey mustard.
Yeah, that sounded good too.
I've already gone through that. That's gone.
Can't get more.
I literally put it on like everything for a solid 2 weeks.
It's like the Sydney Sweeney soap. You can't find it anywhere. John Murray in the 608 also says, in Wisconsin, drinking tons of beer is a rite of passage. Change happens really, really slow, I suppose. I think he means I suppose. John also says, in Wisconsin, fibs are the enemy. Even though they visit all year and spend $1 billion a year, maybe we drink too much beer? Logic is optional on this one. Thank you, John. John is fun with the question. I love that. There we go, Black Box. Let's go to the stream. Our pal Dave from Marinette, originally from Marinette, says, how we pronounce creek. Oh, that's a great one. How do you say that word?
Creek.
Me too. But a lot of people in Wisconsin say crick.
Yeah, I've heard that. Now, yeah. Down by the creek.
Yeah, if you're going to say some guy's a creep, you don't say, well, he's a crip. because that means something totally different, right? It means he's a gangbanger. Someone's a freak or a frick. No, freak is spelled differently. All right. John says, we already read that one. Okay, I want to make sure we get so many texts here for the contest. Tony the Trucker says, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Go figure. You worked 2 of them in there. Well done, Tony, from the 608. Love it. Steady Eddie says, Pete, in Wisconsin, some of us celebrate our excessive drinking like no other state. Fictitious example. Yeah, sure. He says, I drank so much beer last night that I passed out and literally drowned in a pool of my own vomit. Doctors somehow miraculously revived me. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. Best night of my life. You betcha, a real raging kegger. By the way, what bar are we drinking at tonight? Hey there, Steady Eddie. Oh, he worked several to one text.
That was beautiful.
Very, very well done. Daniel. Daniel just reminded me. I've got social media texts I've got to get to here. But Daniel says on the stream, he says, I've been perturbed by the onslaught of marketing dollars telling me weapons is the greatest thing ever made. It was good, but I'd rank Bring Her Back well above it. Interesting. I have not seen that. Daniel is a filmmaker himself, and I am inclined to agree with what he says there. Sydney from Oregon says, I need to go back to the last question of the night when you were in studio. The sex tape I'd least like to see is Calvin and Jacob.
Those are fellow producers in the Civic Media Radio Network.
That's horrible. Why would you suggest that? Sydney from Oregon, that's terrible. Do they have a sex tape that I'm unaware of?
I don't believe so.
Wouldn't it be weird if all the Civic Media producers got freaky sometimes, just made sex tapes as a side hustle?
I've never attended one of those.
Yet, Conrad, yet. Annie from Watertown says, mass-produced meat has no flavor. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, a bratwurst at least has some taste on its own. Steve from Florida, Conrad's dad, says the Wisconsin famous Friday night fish fry. That is a quirk of ours that is beautiful. Yeah, but where do you can't find bluegill.
This still makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
There's one place in Milwaukee where I found a bluegill on the Friday night fish list.
No kidding. Are you going to share?
3 months later, it closed down.
You're out of business.
I was so sad, and the place that took it over did not have bluegill.
Bluegills are hard to come by, maybe.
Definitely not in Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're pretty easy to find.
I walk out on the street here. I see 50 bluegills walking around.
Yep.
Dave on the stream also says, I can't tell you how often I have to say that was a question. That was a question then, Dave. And Daniel also on social media, he left us a text that says, I use the phrase you bet constantly, and it only struck me as something regional when a non-Midwesterner asked what it meant. You bet is just Midwestern. I thought that was like a...
You betcha.
You betcha is Midwestern, yeah. Rex Sykes, our pal on social media, says, everything is by time in L.A. In Wisconsin, people say, I'm not driving 2 miles to get to Walmart. I used to drive between 30 minutes and an hour to go to breakfast daily in L.A. Distance in Wisconsin might be same as L.A., but time takes to get there is vastly different. Rex, buy some eggs, man. Eat at home. Don't drive an hour for breakfast. I know Rex lives in Wisconsin right now. He's been on the show. Hey, great fun tonight, folks. Thanks so much for making this easy, the comeback off the staycation. Great to be back here. Thank you for joining me tonight and Conrad. And, boy, thanks to Todd Michaels.
Yeah.
Always fun to catch up with Todd about really cool stuff. And, of course, Matt Mueller. Thank you for all your texts and calls. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.